everybody, for all you mothers out there who I didn't do a stream for yesterday, happy Mother's Day, even though it's a day late. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's back to reality. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. I do have my cup of reparations coffee because I did have time to grab one of those. However, my normal weekend plans of getting things prepped the night before and knowing what I'm going to talk about during the day, just throw that out the window. It did not happen, and I got late home this morning. I got home late this morning. I'll put that in the right order. Got home late this morning from my job that I do in the morning. So we're just going to fly by the seat of my pants, which is the title of today's stream. And, but very quickly, there are a few people here, and I am so glad to see you. Good morning, Tyler F. Good morning, Rolling Bear. Good morning, Maniac Man. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree, a.k.a. Dammit Chadwick. And good morning to my friend Maddie. Hopefully we'll get some people rolling in here as they figure out the stream is going. You can certainly go ahead and retweet this thing if you're on Twitter or just whatever you do. Down there below, the share button, that works too. Put it wherever you want on social media. There's a few people we've gained because you are so kind to do that, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am of you. Also, below, while you're here, as you stroll in, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. I think all of you are subscribed, though, so far, and there's only about 8 people here. And then, and also, we do super chats through the Streamlabs link below. I do not have YouTube monetization, and that's fine. You know, they take a lot more of your hard-earned cash than anyone else does. So, the Streamlabs works really well for super chats and later donations. So, as I got something weird on my tongue there, I'm going to take another sip of the old reparations coffee. You can have a sip with me. And we're going to get started. So what I did, since I'm not completely prepared today, I just decided I'm going to open up Twitter and just go down some random things here. And good morning, Max Del Rio. How you doing? I'm just going to go down some random things, see what's coming up on my Twitter feed. Now, there's been a whole bunch of stuff. I did go on Twitter a little bit earlier, and we'll get into the trending stuff, but I just want to go through the stuff that just happens to pop up in your feed, because every once in a while, something interesting does. And the first thing that popped up here was this tweet by someone named David Railboy or something like that. I don't know what his name is. But anyway, that says, scores of large law firms have proudly defended jihadist terrorists pro bono. But Harvey Weinstein is a bridge too far. If you're not familiar with this story, the Winthrop House faculty deans leave after Harvard Review refuses to renew their appointments. Fascinating. What is that? What does that mean? Oh, good morning. Hey, I've got a super chat already. Let's check it out. That is from Maddie. Good morning, Maddie. Thank you for the $5 super chats. Good morning. A few bucks to say good morning and keep up the good work. Hey, I appreciate that. That makes me so happy. I appreciate you for the $5 and just for the fact that you are here quite often, and hopefully I make it fun for you. All right. So we're in the Winthrop. Now this is actually published in the Harvard Crimson. So let's read this real quick. Here, I'm going to make it a little bigger just so I can. Oh, did I do that right? Nope. Here we go. There we go. Make it a little bigger so I can see it. Dean of the college, Rakesh Khurana, announced that he will not renew Winthrop faculty deans Ronald S. Sullivan Jr. and Stephanie R. Robinson after their term ends on June 30th in an email to House affiliates Saturday morning. The decision comes after more than 3 months of activism and outcry surrounding Sullivan's decision to represent Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, who stands accused of rape, and a day after the Crimson reported allegations brought by Winthrop students, tutors, and staff of a toxic environment under Sullivan and Robinson, stretching back years. Wow. Suddenly. Good morning, Richo. Good morning, Opinion Scotsman. Carrano wrote in his email to Winthrop students that he decided not to renew Sullivan and Robinson's faculty dean appointments because the environment in the house was untenable. The actions that have been taken to improve the climate have been ineffective, and the noticeable lack of faculty dean presence during critical moments has further deteriorated the climate in the house, Carrano wrote. I have concluded that the situation in the house is untenable. Now, it's funny. These people have been faculty deans for years, and this climate has been around for years. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating. We are surprised and dismayed by the action Harvard announced today. We believe the discussions we were having with high-level university representatives were progressing in a positive manner, but Harvard unilaterally ended those talks, Sullivan and Robinson wrote. We will now take some time to process Harvard's actions and consider our options. We are sorry that Harvard actions and the controversy surrounding us has contributed to the stress on Winthrop students at this already stressful time. What stressful time? What? Unless he's talking about like is it because it's close to finals, or what stressful time? Let's see here. Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's find out. Through their decade-long term at Winthrop, though their decade-long term at Winthrop will end this summer, Sullivan and Robinson will keep their appointments at Harvard Law School, where they both teach. They are the first African Americans to serve as faculty deans of an undergraduate house. Whoa! Hold up there, Johnny! They're not firing because they're still going to be in the law school, but they're removing them as, basically, if you're familiar with Harvard, they have like these housing sections they call houses, and then they have faculty deans who are kind of the advisors in those living arrangements, and so that's what they're removing them from being advisors in this particular called Winthrop House, if you're not familiar with that. But they're firing black people. Now, here's the thing. This all came up, as you heard earlier, because I believe is it Robinson? No, Sullivan. Sullivan is representing Harvey Weinstein, the jagoff Hollywood movie producer and Democratic Party money funnel. And he's obviously has his problems because he's been doing some shady shit and sexually assaulting people. That's the charges. I'm not saying that quote sexually, but as in those are the charges. Allegedly, let's say allegedly. And the students at Harvard are very upset that someone from Harvard would represent Weinstein. But you know what? That is our judicial system. Even the people who need lawyers the most are the people who are charged with the most reprehensible crimes. Because you know what? Everyone in our system of justice deserves representation. And So, I mean, as much as I think Harvey Weinstein's a total scumbag, he does deserve representation. So somebody's got to do it. Uh-oh. I saw MC and Functional popped in at the same time. Good job. Good morning. Good job. What I say good job for. Good morning, MC. Good morning, Functional. Anyway, let's get on to this. Let's see. Dozens of students met with Karana, Dean of Students Catherine G. O'Dare, and Faculty Arts and Science Dean Claudine Gay in Winthrop House Dining Hall Saturday afternoon. Many hugged and thanked the administrators for their decisions not to renew Sullivan and Robinson. Students have criticized Sullivan's representation of Weinstein since he first announced his decision in January. Following the announcement, Sullivan wrote an email to Winthrop students defending his decision and stressed the importance of representing the unpopular defendant. I think I just said that. He later followed up with another missive announcing he had appointed Winthrop President Dean Linda D.M. Shavers as the point person for issues surrounding sexual assault. In the months after, students activists took to protests and online posts arguing that Sullivan's representation of Weinstein conflicts with his role as a faculty dean. In February, the college launched a climate review. Oh, man. Led by former Demon freshman Thomas A. Dingman, 67, to address student concerns. The controversy later extended to other parts of the House. Last month, Winthrop tutors Carl L. Miller and Valencia Miller and Dano A.K. Madaniak, an activist who organized the first calls for Sullivan to step down, filed conflicting police reports after a confrontation in the Winthrop Hall dining hall. Days later, the Millers sued Elliott House faculty dean Gail A. O'Keefe for defamation after she sent an email to Elliott residents defending Madaniak's account and calling the Millers' response unprofessional. So, you know what? It's just, oh my goodness, just on and on and on, because it's like erase anyone. What's the word? What's it? Cancel culture. It's this cancel culture thing. He's an attorney, and you know that's what he does. And like you said, even the most ardent scumbags deserve representation in the American judicial system. So anyway, the students are trying to send him out on a rail. So there you go. That's crazy, crazy, crazy story. It's unperson, cancel, the whole thing. So that was the top thing on my Twitter feed today. Let's see a couple. Oh, thank you. Tyler F for retweeting and Simius of Thebes. Now I wonder who Simius of Thebes. I wonder what your name is on here. Anyway, all right, let's get back. Let's see what else. Just I'm going to scroll down and see what's here. That looks nice. Winding roads, a perfect place to unwind. That's a nice picture, isn't it? All right, let's see what else is here. Zero Hedge, Apple's plunge accelerates after losing SCOTUS antitrust suit. Uh-oh. No, I didn't. So Apple stock is down. Apparently they lost an antitrust suit. Well, let's see what this is about. This is from Zero Hedge. Apple plunges accelerates. Apple's plunge accelerates after losing SCOTUS antitrust suit. Apple shares extended their losses after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that consumers can press ahead with a lawsuit that accuses Apple of using its market dominance to artificially inflate prices in its App Store. Bloomberg reports that the 5-4 ruling could add pressure to the company, adds to pressure the company faces to cut the 30% commission it charges on app sales. Lawyers pressing the case have said they will seek hundreds of millions of dollars on behalf of overpaying consumers. Justice Brett Kavanaugh joined the court's liberal wing in the majority. What? Brett Kavanaugh? Are you kidding me? Brett Kavanaugh? That man who they fought did made up shit, and Brett Kavanaugh join the liberal wing of the Supreme Court. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Are you serious? He is supposed to be evil incarnate. He's supposed to be Hitler. Brett Kavanaugh. Oh, good gosh. Is he... Should we start calling him Ruth Bader Kavanaugh? Is he a liberal in wolf's clothing? Oh, evil incarnate Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah, their stocks took a big old bite after losing that suit, though. As you can see the trajectory here. Boom and bam, bam, straight down for a moment. Like right there, just straight drop. Look at that. Whomp! Of course, now, if you look at the scale here, I'm pretty sure they're still way up over whatever they were 15, 20 years ago. So if you bought your Apple stock 10 years ago, you're probably doing fine. Anyway, okay, that's from Zero Hedge. Let's see what else. Let me just scroll down a little bit here. Bird Brain LIU Brooklyn erases offensive Blackbird mascot. What? Oh, this has got to be stupid. This is from Newsbusters, which is the arm of the Media Research Center, which is I won't say right wing. They're a conservative media watchdog. After 84 years, Long Island University, Brooklyn deems Blackbird's name racist. Oh my God. Good morning, all you need. Good morning, Norman. Kina. Good morning. Who else just showed up? Richo. I said hi to Richo already. Good morning, Richo. Or maybe I didn't, but I am now if I haven't already. All right. Nice to see you all here. Oh my gosh. After 84 years, Long Island University, Brooklyn deems Blackbird's nickname racist. Are you? It's only if they use the Disney crows as their mascot. Hey, Mr. Dax, what's up? What the hell are you doing up this late in the morning? Don't you usually work right now? I'm so happy to see you, Mr. Dax. Anyway, okay. Racially insensitive Redmen, Chippewas, and Fighting Sioux have been erased by the PC powers that govern college sports. And now, college PC bird brains are fabricating charges of racism against innocuous mascots. Cal State Long Beach doomed Prospector Pete to a death sentence earlier this spring. And not to be outdone, Long Island University, Brooklyn is pecking its Blackbirds mascot to death. Believe it or not, LIU Brooklyn president Kimberly Klein told a group of alumni, many of whom were former athletes, the university has heard that the Blackbird is an offensive, racist mascot. Now, these are the writer's words, not mine, but... And when snowflakes hear things, they can melt down pretty darn fast. This vague, anonymous charge of racism was reported by the New York Post. Alumni are not happy about the demise of the Blackbirds, a nickname they say is unique in college sports. It's the only college mascot in the country that was called the Blackbirds. But I digress. Another college mascot falls prey to PC bird brains. New York Post columnist Phil Mushnick is riled up about it too, writing, "This week, for real, Long Island University, Brooklyn eliminated Blackbirds as its 80-year-old mascot and nickname because the school determined it's racist." Its magnificent, dignified logo, a blackbird clutching a dangling, interlocking LIU, eradicated for a logo and mascot to be named later. Left for consideration, if not action, is the removal from radio stations of Paul McCartney's gentle ode to a broken-winged creature Blackbird sings in the dead of night. Blackbird. My God, are you kidding me? Mushnik, who also writes about hypocritical acceptance of vulgar rappers spewing real racism, but anyone else invoking the word blackbird is crossing the line of acceptability. At LIU, unless it's incorporated or sung by a vulgar N-word Glock-worshipping woman-degrading rapper, Blackbird is racist, is a racist song that should be disappeared. Oh my God, you know, there is such a bird as a blackbird. As in, have you know what we have in the Midwest here? Maybe I don't know where y'all are from, but we have these really cool birds. They're called a red-winged blackbird, and kind of there's this little red and yellow marking on the kind of the end, the joint end of the wing, and it looks really cool. And you see this just completely black bird, but it has this bright red logo on it. It almost looks like they're wearing a Marine patch or something. But my God, are you kidding me? I am drinking. Yes, black coffee is racist. There you go. I've got my reparations coffee, and it is black. I think that makes me a racist. Oh, wait a minute. I'm black. I can't be racist ever. Ah, sweet goodness. Oh my gosh. It just now, so having the word black is what makes this, I wish I could find, let's see. Okay. Prospector Pete, I'm trying to find an article. There's the New York Post article. Let's see. Nope, that's YouTube. I wish they had an article from the school explaining what made the mascot racist. Unless all I can think of is maybe they saw. Now there is that. What's that? There's an old Disney movie, and there's a lot of the early Disney movies had very racial, and by today's standards they'd be completely racist sentiments. And one of them that I can remember particularly are the Crows. And they're singing. And they had little things with blackface and shit, and the only thing I can think of is that they look too close to that. But a blackbird is a murder of crows. A blackbird is a bird. It's a type of bird. Oh man, you can if you're not far left. Yeah, I know. I can't. I know I can be racist. One of my favorite things is when I'm on Twitter and I type something that doesn't necessarily fit the mold of what people expect to come out of myself, and someone will call me a white supremacist or racist. I'm like, you might want to. I know I'm light skinned, but you might want to take a closer look at my picture. Or someone would say, well, what do you know about being black? I've been black for all my life, nigga. Anyway, more stupidity from the world of colleges and universities. Okay, it must be college and university day, because the first two things that caught my eye were things happening in colleges and universities. But it's sad. It's so sad. By the way, I'm excited. My son is about to graduate from college. That's my last kid leaving college, and I can't wait. I think it's like 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from. Is it 2 weeks from tomorrow, or is it a weekend? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, no, it's 2 weeks from this past Saturday. It's going to be on a Saturday. I am excited. He's already got a job. I'm like, woohoo! They even gave him a signing bonus. That's awesome. Anyway, all right. By the way, if you're going to go to college, or if you're going to send your kid to college, send him to college and take something that's useful, that they can get a job in. My son getting the computer science degree, it really working out for him. And, so that's cool too. And, so yeah, anyway. All right. Oh, let's see. Oh, well, here's more about Harvard. Let's see. Alan Dershowitz, the new McCarthyism comes to Harvard. The firing of Dean Sullivan reminds me of the bad old days when lawyers were fired for representing communists, gay people, civil rights demonstrators, and women seeking abortions. Yeah, these are the people who were getting fired. Harvard drops faculty dean after he joins Harvey Weinstein legal team. Now, okay, so here the thing is, they got the faculty dean is different than him being employed at the law school. So they're not firing him from the law school, but he's been dropped from his role as a dean of a residential house after joining the Harvey Weinstein legal team. But still, we just read that story, so we're not going to go in there. That's the Daily Mail version. What else? What other bucketry do we have on Twitter today? Let's see. Oh, great. Rational disconnect. Dunking on Tim Pool. That's about an everyday thing. There's a lot of people who like to dunk on him. About people complaining about demonetization. Hey, I am not monetized, so that's why I have the Streamlabs link right down there. If you want to do some donations or super chats, yeah, that's down there. So what else we got going here? Oh, a lot of people talking about the Harvard deal. This is the New York. So I've seen a Harvard Crimson article. I've seen a Daily Mail article. I see a New York Times article right here. And these are the faculty members in question. Ronald Sullivan and Stephanie Robinson. They're actually husband and wife, by the way, if you weren't aware of that. What else we got going on here? Because otherwise we'll just get into Twitter trends. Oh, I could do headlines. Should we do some headlines? Let's go check out some headlines. Although I'm getting headlines from Twitter. You know, there's a big thing. I don't know if you're familiar with, there's a YouTuber, atheist YouTuber named Rationality Rules, I think his name is. And normally he's, out there with all the other lefty Twitter people and after lefty YouTube people. But he did he's in hot water because he did, I don't need to see this right now. He's in hot water because he did a video talking about transgender athletes, particularly male to female transgender athletes, competing in sports. And, he got some factual things wrong in his whatever, but he's just getting pummeled right now by, how do you even describe it? Because there's no such thing as a skeptic community. There's no such thing as an SJW community, but a lot of those former SJW, what we used to give them shit. SJW is kind of just a joke, but anyway, just kind of lefty Twitter's beating him up, and he got dumped from some big atheist conference or whatever because he made this one video. They're all calling him transphobic and all this stuff, and it's just one of those topics that I'm just about to take. I've been doing a lot of research on it, and he made some valid points. He made some points that didn't work. There's a couple other videos out there. I promise you, I'm gonna get into that. It's a very complicated topic, and contrary to what all the advocates are saying, there is very little research that has been done on the effects of, hormone replacement therapy and things like that. There's one study, for example, the entire study only has 17 subjects because there's not that many people to study. And plus, we'll get into that another time. Let's keep going down the list here. Let's see what else. Oh, by the way, remember I think I've already told you this because there's been all this news about the current season of Game of Thrones, and I've never watched Game of Thrones. I've never seen it. We've never seen it before. But as of Saturday, my wife and I began season 1 of Game of Thrones. So let me just point something out to y'all. And we've gotten through about, we went through several episodes yesterday because on Mother's Day, once we got done, we had our Mother's Day stuff going on at 9 in the morning. And so really we were pretty much done with Mother's Day by noon, by the time we got back from where we went and all that stuff. And so basically after we took the dogs to a dog park for a while, we got up to our 9th episode of Game of Thrones by yesterday. And I don't want to hear anything else about this current season because I think everything in this current season is going to destroy our sequencing of this show. So whenever I see Game of Thrones, I just like, oh, we never did go see, what's the thing after Infinity War? Endgame. We haven't seen Endgame yet. We were going to do that yesterday, but instead we ended up watching more episodes of Game of Thrones. So no spoilers on Game of Thrones or no spoilers on Endgame. I just scroll past it, and I don't. If you put something in the chat about it, I ain't watching it. I ain't looking at it. I'm going to just go right on past it. All right. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Here's something interesting. And I don't even know what it is, but it's Tulsi Gabbard. If you're familiar with Tulsi Gabbard, she's running for president of the United States. She's a representative from the state of Hawaii. And someone brought this up. Let's see. I bring up how Bernie was cheated in the 2016 election. Then I asked Tulsi if she will be our voice and protest if and when she and Bernie gets cheated again next year. The Democratic club leader didn't like that and took the mic from me and tried to obfuscate my question. Oh, this will be interesting because, if you were paying attention during all the 2016 election and all the the emails, the stolen emails that the Russians supposedly stole from the DNC, you notice how very little focus has been put in on what was in those emails. They like that. The thing is, the Democrats want you to forget that. That's why this whole Russian thing, I think, has blown up so much. They don't want to talk about what was in the emails. They want to talk about who stole them and Donald Trump and this and that, blah, 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 blah. But remember, the stolen emails revealed that the DNC pretty much gave the whole, were basically I wouldn't say stole the election for Bernie Sanders because I don't know that he would have beaten Hillary Clinton anyway, but they certainly put thumbs on the scales for Hillary Clinton. And it was clear from those emails. And notice nobody talks about that anymore. Did you know, for example, that right now there is a lawsuit that has been going on for a while? It originally got thrown out where it was because they had to change jurisdiction. There's a lawsuit against the DNC for fraud based on the 2016 election and the money they collected from Bernie Sanders supporters because it was supposed to be a fair, obviously supposed to be a fair election in the primaries. There's still a lawsuit pending. Have you heard I bet you haven't heard that in the news, have you? So that's very interesting. Anyway, let's watch this because this is probably interesting. Let's see how this went. Well, it's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's check it out. Whoop. What the hell did I just do? Oh my gosh. I think I just got nuked for even trying to watch it. Gosh, the DNC has their fingers and eyes everywhere. What the hell happened? That's crazy. Okay, maybe we won't be watching that. I'm scrolling. This might take forever if I do this. Let's see. Wow. It got nuked. There's some powerful people out there. They do whatever the hell they want, don't they? Holy smoly. Okay, I guess I'm oh, what the hell is that? Is that Oh yeah, this is still going on. Poll, how do people feel about transgender athletes in women's sports? Like I said, I'm going to take a deep dive into that one. I'm probably, here's the problem. The biggest problem. Let's see. Let's read this article because this is something that I'm going to be talking about a lot in the very near future. And here's the biggest problem with this whole thing. Hello, Check Your Logic. Good morning. His name is Seth Richo. This is a topic that's really getting heated. Let's see. This subject has been coming up more and more lately. Not that you'll see much of it on cable news. It's the question of whether or not competitive female sports organizations, both scholastic and otherwise, should allow transgender women who were born male to compete against natural biological women. I like to say biological/physiological women. Because, for example, we'll take like Caster Semenya, who is a from a physiological standpoint is mostly male, although she is intersex. She has XY chromosome, she has internal testes, which produce testosterone. But anyway, compete against natural biological women. Most recently, we looked at a transgender powerlifter who broke 4 world records at a single competition, but later had those titles rejected because he was determined to be male by the commission overseeing the sport. So are Americans paying attention to this debate? And if so, how do they feel about it? Scott Rasmussen tackled the question recently, and the results are pretty clear. A majority of voters find such participation to be unfair to women, and only a small percentage support the practice. But they're a very, very loud and they're a very powerful minority of people who support this, and they're the ones, because all they have to do is call you transphobic, and the debate ends. It's almost, it's the problem isn't that you're being transphobic when you talk about this. The problem is if you disagree with their version of the orthodoxy, then you become transphobic, and that says they can dismiss you. And again, I've been studying this quite a bit because I wanted to do a video about it a while back, but I haven't done it yet. But there is very little science about it, and some people tell you, oh, there's all kinds of studies and this and that, blah 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 blah. No, there's not. There are very few studies that of comparative performance, and part of it is what they're saying. What the advocates saying is that, one, it shouldn't matter, which is false. That's stupid. We know that there's physiological differences between male and female, especially males. And I'm talking, when I say male and female, I'm talking sex. Male and females who have done no form of transitioning, no form of hormone therapy. But what they're saying is that, for example, the Olympic Committee, or the International Olympic Committee, says that transgender women who have been on hormone therapy for over a year and have gotten their testosterone levels down below a certain number are able to compete, whether they've done any other transitioning or not, which obviously the other transitioning doesn't make, whether it's cosmetic transitioning, for example. So they're going to allow athletes who have been on hormone therapy for a minimum of a year and have lowered their testosterone down below, it's like, I think it's 5 milligrams per whatever they call it liter. That's not the measurement exactly. I'm just giving you a number to give you an example. And that's the same standard they're using for Semenya, Caster Semenya. They're forcing her to also do hormone therapy to get her down below that level to compete in international track. The problem is like I said, the only studies that there have very limited number of subjects. There's not a lot of transgender people who are in athletics, but they're popping up all over the place now. Okay. It's such a new thing that there isn't a lot of research, and to say that is even considered being transphobic, and it's not. Well, they're going to tell you that it is anyway, so you can't even talk about the subject. All right, let me move on in this. 23% of voters believe a person born as male but identifying as female should be allowed to compete in women's competitive sports events. Scott Rasmussen.com national survey found that 56% disagree and 21% are not sure. Voters under 35 are evenly divided on the question. Older voters do not believe such athletes should be allowed to compete in women's events. See crosstab results. Click. There's a link there. This is on Hot Air. In fact, here's if you want to read the whole article. Poof, there it is. Let's see. That view is shared by 22% of independent voters and 12% of Republicans. 32% of voters have followed recent news stories concerning transgender athletes at least somewhat closely. That includes 10% who have followed the stories very closely, which I follow them very closely because I am a coach. I coach boys during the school year and I coach girls in the summer. And it's a fascinating subject, especially knowing now the age group that I coach, is beyond puberty, and there's clear differences between the abilities and skill levels. Not skill levels, relative skill levels. Physiological abilities between boys and girls are so completely different, especially in that, range that I coach end up being from about 13 to about 18. And that's when the physiological difference manifests themselves during puberty, and it's incredible the difference. Now, granted, I'm not talking about a 13-year-old on hormone therapy, which I don't even think that should happen personally, but that's just my own personal thoughts, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me. If your brain doesn't develop completely until you're 25, why are you making life-altering decisions at 8, 10, 12, 13, whatever? But that's just me. I don't know. The survey also dug a bit deeper to learn why people are opposed. Strong majority supported 3 different conclusions about allowing biological males to compete against women. First, male athletes tend to be stronger and more athletic than comparable females. Second, allowing them to compete is unfair to the actual women. Ooh, that's fight words to the transgender activists, right? Because you say that line, and what do you get? Trans women are women. Trans women are women. Trans women are women. Trans women are... Okay, got it. Okay, that's, if you are sensitive to their cause, that's a problematic phrase. And finally, this practice will eventually lead to men dominating women's sports. All of that seemed rather obvious to me, but it's worthwhile to know where a majority of voters are coming down on this issue. Now, the argument that this will eventually lead to men dominating women's sports. Not necessarily. First of all, there's not that many trans women, or, percentage wise. And for the most part, if you think about it, I would say a vast majority of transgender people, at least on the trans women's side, probably aren't interested in being athletes, although some are. I watched, I kind of chuckled when I watched a video by Blair White, which she's going to be crucified for her video too, because she didn't toe the line. But I think of, a lot of trans women are into being super feminine too. And so a lot of it, the interest in sports, I think, probably for such a small population, and then to cut out even a smaller population of that population that's going to try to be athletes. I don't know. But the bottom line for me is there are physiological differences that even if you go on hormone therapy, do not go away. That's what my video is going to be about. And there is, unfortunately, like I said, there's not a lot of research, and mostly it's only anecdotal evidence for this. So no one really has, the answer yet, because there's not enough subjects to research this. That's the other problem. But anyway, the party line breakdown of this is kind of stunning also. For any Democrats and liberals thinking of hitching their wagon to this issue, they should be aware that less than 1/3 of Democrats support this idea. Those numbers plummet further among independents and Republicans. Too many supporters of transgender athletes competing in women's sports are trying to turn this into an LGBT issue. And that's false. And guess what? You are on the wrong side of this issue. You are automatically transphobic, no matter how much research you've done, no matter how much you support the rights of transgender people to live their lives. Good morning, Pincalo. Wow, you got a whole bunch of here. I'll send you a link to the video I watched yesterday. It's talking about some girls, I think, in Minnesota. This one, let's see. She was in first place statewide. A bunch of trans athletes came in. Now she's in 8th place. Completely lost on all statewide championships and national championships because she came into place. Yeah, nothing but translate. Yeah, send me that. I'm very interested. That's probably a new one that I haven't seen. I know there's one in Connecticut where the two transgender girls who ran track and came in first and second, the 100 and 200. That's one of the prominent ones because it's been national news. It's been on the Today Show, and that one's one of the examples people bring up a lot. And even in one of the videos, that this Rationality Rules guy used that example. Well, someone else, I can't remember the name of the other YouTuber who tried to debunk his video, was saying that those two were on HRT. That is false. Neither of the trans girls, physiological males, neither of them started HRT before they started competing in track, and the one that has not been on it for over a year. So they would not be able to compete, for example, in the Olympics because of that. Also, in fact, one of them, the first year when he first decided he was going to run girls track in the spring, he ran the indoor season on the boys track team. And then, so transitioned mid-year with no HRT, no hormone replacement therapy. So, Andrea Yearwood. That's her name. Good morning, Functional. I said good morning. Those were two guys that simply wrote "We Are Girls." I've seen their and so apparently one of them has begun hormone replacement therapy, but that's after that was not before track season. So let's see. Anyway, this man. But so this is the big fight now, and unfortunately, let's see what do you say about this. Here we go. So too many supporters of transgender athletes competing in women's sports are trying to turn this into an LGBT issue, and that's false. This is strictly a T issue. Nobody's complaining about gay or lesbian athletes competing. Thankfully, for significant majority of the country, nobody participating or particularly cares who you are sleeping with. This is a question that revolves around the reason that we have separate competitions for men and women in the first place. Absolutely. We do it because women would be locked out of the top levels of most sports if we didn't, and we don't define the two sexes for those purposes based on how you feel or how you identify. Yes, it's for physiological differences. That's why we have a separate category for women. Because it's just straight male, straight female, the physiological difference on averages are stunning. Okay? And that's due to physiological reasons, not anything that's discriminatory or because how you identify. Alrighty then. All right, moving on. What else we got on here? How are we doing for time? We're at, okay. All right, 10:02. Doing good. What else we got on the Twitters today? Alexander Ocasio-Cortez. Oh my gosh. I saw this earlier on Twitter. This one ran by me. Let's see what the Daily Caller says about this was. Ocasio-Cortez rebuffs fact checkers, says the world is ending in 12 years was dry humor. Wow, you know what? I remember she was saying this in an interview, and it didn't look like dry humor, and nobody laughed. Everyone took her so seriously because this dude... Anyway, Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez complained Sunday that GOP fact checkers were taking her dry humor literally. This is a technique of the GOP to take dry humor and sarcasm literally and fact check it. She tweeted, like the world ending in 12 years thing. You'd have to be complete social. you'd have to have the social intelligence of a sea sponge to think it was literal. But the GOP is basically Dwight from The Office, so who knows? Yeah, when she first made the claim, here she is when she made the first claim of the world ending in 12 years.
And I think that the part of it that is generational is that millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And like, this is the war. This is our World War II.
Now, does she sound like she's joking? And like, does she sound like she's being sarcastic? And does she sound like she is being, just having fun with the audience? Did anyone in the audience laugh? And like, I didn't hear anybody laugh, so like, I'm not sure if anybody laughed. I don't know.
And I think for younger people, we're looking at this and we're like, how are we saying let's take it easy when 3,000 Americans died last year? How are we saying let's take it easy when the...
Wait a minute. 3,000 Americans died last year? Really? Wow. I don't think we've ever had 3,000 Americans die before. Died of what? Alex, what did they die of? 3,000 Americans died of what? What did the 3,000 Americans? What did 3,000 Americans died last year?
And I think for younger people, we're looking at this and we're like, how are we saying let's take it easy when 3,000 Americans died last year? How are we saying let's take it easy when the nth person has just died from our cruel and unjust criminal justice system?
What does that have to do with what does that have to do with 12 what? Forget it. Anyway, but those responsible for the 2018 UN report on climate change, from which Ocasio-Cortez drew her 12 years left conclusion, did not consider their work to be an attempt at dry humor. And during the live stream in April, Ocasio-Cortez mocked critics who blew off the claim as a joke, making it clear that she was serious when she said, "We have 12 years left to cut emissions by at least 50%, if not more. And for everyone who wants to make a joke about that, you may laugh, but your grandkids will not." Well, I won't have any grandkids yet because we'll all be dead, right? Oh, my goodness. Although, I don't know. Is AJ, are you in the chat somewhere? Are you watching AJ? I was going to ask my daughter if she's going to have kids within the next 12 years. I don't know. She may or may not, but she's not married yet. Maybe soon. No, I can't say that. I shouldn't even have said that. I should not have said that. If she watches this later, she's going to kill me. All right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So she's pissed off at the fact checkers. By the way, everybody, it's chill time. So let's just take her off my screen for a second. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Now that a bunch of people are in here, below, down here, there's a little arrow that says share. That would be the best way you can help me out. Hit that share button, send it to people on Facebook, send it to people on Twitter or Tumblr or Reddit or MySpace or wherever you go. And make sure, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, which is also right down here. Whoops, I almost went too far. Over here, like button, hit that, smack it, smack it, smack it. Smack it like a brand new baby. Oh, they don't do that anymore. They do something else. Anyway, smack it like... I'm not going to talk about that either. We're not going there. Anyway, also, if you are so inclined, we also do super chats through Streamlabs. The link is down in the description below. Because I don't have super chats because I'm not monetized. So here we go. Let's move it on. Left arm, P-Dog. Left arm. No, Oh yeah, left arm. There you go. I always forget that. I think I gotta look. If I look on my screen, I gotta think piano side, piano side, piano side, right down there. Piano side. Boom. Windows, piano. Whoop. All right, there we go. What else is on the tweets today? Maybe I tell you what. Maybe it'd be a good time to get into. Let's get it. Maybe it's time to get into Twitter trends because I'm just kind of scrolling down here. What's that? Oh no! Oh my gosh! And parents. Oh my gosh! Game of Thrones baby names are more popular than ever. Some numbers from kids born in 2018. Khaleesi, Tyrion, Brienne, Jorah, Sansa, Ramsay, Theon, Daenerys. Oh my God. People are naming their kids after Game of Thrones. Oh my God. Although Khaleesi, does that mean queen, right? I'm learning that now that I'm a Game of Thrones watcher. We know that Khaleesi means queen. And you know, plenty of black people are calling their kids queen. Alrighty then. Parents who name, oh, this is good. This is JTLOL. Parents who name their kids after Game of Thrones characters will get grandkids with names like Doug and Susan. Isn't that the truth? I grew up with a weird name. And so that's why my kids' names are Jacob and Alyssa. They were the most popular names for both kids. Although we don't call our son Jacob because we call him by his middle name. But you know what? There you go. Because I grew up with a weird name, and I didn't like it. I just didn't. It was always funny. Okay, so here's just a little story about P-Dog. So when I was in grade school, and I was originally born John Martin O'Connor. And so that's where the Marty came from. A lot of you know that my people call me Marty, right? So, but when I was adopted at 4 years old. So my parents who adopted me, they continued to call me Marty, but they changed my legal name after my grandparents. So that was Sabert Francis Johnson. Now Sabert is a unique name. My grandfather, as I've dug deep, I've only found one other person named Sabert in the history of history, period. No one knows where the name came from. It wasn't a family name. Somehow that my grandfather got this name. So that's what we changed my name to. So when I was, but people call me Marty. People call me Marty since I was born up until 4 years old when I was adopted. So my parents, they didn't want to confuse me. So they didn't want to, traumatize me by calling me something else. So they called me Marty. My friends called me Marty. Everyone called me Marty. But when I would go to school every year, the teacher, the first day of class, they'd be going through the names of the class. Okay, Mark Clark. Okay, Sandra Couch. Okay, Rory Murphy, whatever. And then they'd come to my name, spelled Saybert. And it would be, they'd always look at, by third grade, I figured this out. The teacher would look at the name and they would look at it and they'd go, Sabert, and I would always go, I would tell them how to say it, and then I would say, but people call me Marty every year. So by about third grade, I was annoyed because nobody called me Saber until high school, and then my high school friends started calling me that. So so the first day of school, from about third grade on, here was the pattern. Mark Clark here. Sandra Couch here, Pat Moore here. As soon as I'd see the teacher pause, I'd go, it's Marty. Just call me Marty. Saber, yes, Marty. It's Marty, okay? So anyway, growing up with an unusual name, a lot of times you just want to give your kids a name that nobody has to go, how do I say this? How do I say it? Anyway, so yeah, so that's pretty funny. People who name their kids after Game of Thrones characters will get grandkids with names like Doug and Susan. Yes, I agree. That is probably how it's going to happen. All right. All right, let's get into Twitter trends because we're kind of running out of time here. So let's actually go into Twitter trends. I'm going to skip this real quick and flip this over. And poof, here we go. Twitter trends. Number 1, Doris Day. We just talked about Doris Day a few weeks ago when it was her 97th birthday. Doris Day has passed away. That's too bad. I mean, she is 97 years old, though. She's lived a great life. Let's see here. American actor, singer, and animal welfare activist Doris Day has died at the age of 97, her foundation says. I had no idea that she was a... they always got to throw in, an animal welfare activist. I don't know if she was an animal welfare activist. I don't care. I don't know her for that. Nobody knows her for that. People know her because she was a famous actress and singer from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And she lived a very long... Yeah, definitely lived a long life. She was kind of one of those first total America's sweethearts. Doris Day, whose wholesome screen presence stood for a time of innocence in the 60s films, has died, her foundation says. Mostly in the 60s was her prime years. Doris Day was as big as they come. She was generally a great human being, and my God, could she sing. Rest in power. Stop saying rest in power. Rest in peace. Rest in power. Rest in power, Doris. Thank you. Let's see. The incomparable Doris Day has said goodnight. A truly gifted, remarkable, versatile actress with one of the most iconic voices of all times. And her chemistry with Rock Hudson alone confirmed her greatness. Rest in peace, Doris Day. So, yeah, she was a very, very popular actress in her day. And so may she rest in peace. Okay. Hello, Green Badger Outdoors. What's happening? Okay, moving on. Number 2 on the Twitter trends today, or at least right at the moment, John Beline, Michigan. Oh, what? Cavaliers hired Michigan head coach John Beline as their head coach. The Cavaliers were having problems because they were trying to replace Ty Lue, I believe. Ty Lue might be going to the Lakers, but apparently the who's the Kurt Rambis' wife kind of vetoed that because when Beline was LeBron James' last coach at Cleveland. But I don't think he was a great coach. I think LeBron James actually coached that team. I really do. I think Ty just stood around and did what LeBron said. Anyway, so the University of Michigan, that's too bad because Beline has been great at Michigan. I don't know how he's going. I never know how college coaches transition to the pro game because it's a completely different animal as far as the attitudes of the athletes. And so it'll be interesting, but I don't talk a lot of sports on here, but that's a very fascinating coaching change to me. And so it's a loss for the University of Michigan because he's done really well there. Although I don't know how great a recruit is. Anyway, number 3 trending, Monday motivation. Number 4, Monday morning. Number 5, Monday thoughts. And number 7, Monday mood. Monday thoughts, not thoughts. Well, let's stick with Monday motivation on the Monday thing, though. Now, I always read the top one just out of curiosity to see what it is. And unfortunately, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is right there. Oh, this is, you know what? Here's another thing, okay? The Equality Act. This is a thing with the transgender athletes. Here we go. CNS News, which is a right-leaning news network, mostly internet news, asked the question, is this really what needs to be prioritized right now? So the Democrats are really interesting. Their priorities right now, they finally got, the House of Representatives back, and the only thing they're doing is investigating Trump, and then this bill. The Equality Act could impose tyrannical left-wing LGBT curriculum on what? That didn't even make sense. On the whole nation. Okay. If Democrats' priority legislation becomes law, public schools could be forced to include discussions about transgenderism in math and history classes for elementary school students. Now, that's hyperbole. Although, you know what? I never put anything past them, but I think that's maybe, I don't know about that. The Equality Act, though, here's what the Equality Act includes, and that's why you're going to hear about the sports thing again. The Equality Act does include allowing or mandating that athletics, Title IX includes transgender athletes, but self-identifying transgender athletes. That's the other part of the transgender thing that there's no what's the word? Structure to? No. There's no standard for, because they are saying self-identifying transgender people. Now, how do you? So that's basically just self-diagnosing, because that's how you feel. That's how and unfortunately, that's not a standard. If you ask me, there's no standard for it. That's the other problem. Anyway, let me read this article. The Equality Act, if passed and signed into law, would add gender identity. Again, gender identity is a self-diagnosed thing. There is no standard for gender identity and sexual orientation to a list of class, race, color, religion, sex, and national origin protected in the Civil Rights Act. Now, I don't have, I think, Civil Rights Act. Let me think about this. You should have civil rights regardless of your sexuality, regardless of your lifestyle, but not, is everything a civil right? Anyway. And it has to have some sort of, there has to be some sort of measure of it to me. That's just me. Maybe I'm being transphobic, because that's what you get called if you have questions. You're automatically transphobic if you have questions. Anyway, and although it sounds good, you say you oppose discriminating against people on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's priority bill, known as H.R. 5, has far-reaching legal implications. A variety of Supreme Court cases, including Meyer versus Nebraska and Pierce versus Society of Sisters, affirm the rights of parents to control their child's education, but the Equality Act would create precedent for federal courts to require curriculum celebrating lesbian, gay, transgender, and bisexual orientations. This change to advance the radical LGBT agenda wouldn't apply to just sex ed classes, but subjects such as history and science as well. Laws that require gender identity and gender orientation to be a part of the curriculum already exist in New Jersey, Illinois, Colorado, California, Washington, and the District of Columbia. In 10 other states, lawmakers have passed bills to limit such curriculum, but the Equality Act would nullify those restrictions. Those states, Alabama, Arizona, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Florida, and North Carolina. A broader movement aims to reorient K-12 curriculum in America towards focus on sexual orientation and gender identity. Why? I can understand as kids get to a certain age, you'd find ways not to discriminate against people. Anyway, this is a CNS news, so they're slanting it their way too. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means when they say that, but I guess I'll find out as I move along. For instance, groups such as the Human Rights Campaign, the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, and Planned Parenthood are encouraging initiatives that would bring this sort of education to schools around the country. Now, they're not being specific of what that means by this sort of education, but to sexualize kids, Oh, hi, Perfectly Faded Delusions. Nice to meet you. I've never seen you in the chat. Welcome to the show. So, just good God, they are relentless in working to bring pro-LGBT curriculum to school children, even at the pre-K level. You should be teaching kids to treat other people with respect. And that's about it. They don't need to teach my kid, if I have young kids, they don't need to teach my kid about transitioning and all the other shit. How about we do the basic stuff first? Maybe we're just trying to teach too much in our schools, okay? Be honest and open to people and treat people with respect is probably the one thing that they need to learn the most, and what they're not learning anymore. So now you can't respect other people's opinions. You can't. The indoctrination is strong, Batman. Strong. Very good. The other thing about this, again, this act does include, and I don't know if it's because of periphery, I got to get into it more, but it does include the idea that transgender in sports, what we were just talking about earlier, that, people would be able to participate in sports based on nothing but their self-identified gender. Okay. Not replacing any hormone restrictions. At least that's my understanding. I'll get into it deeper as I research it, but that's what my understanding is. My understanding could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Let's get back into actual motivation Monday. I don't even know why that's under Monday motivation. I have no idea because that's not what I come to Monday motivation to do. Oh, here's a good one. Take the first step. Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sort of good at something. One of my favorite sayings that I tell my players is that if you don't ever make mistakes in practice, you are never going to get better. So push yourself to beyond your comfort zone and you will get better. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's my Monday motivation. I'm moving on because this is taking too damn long. And oh my gosh, it's already 25 after the hour. X-Men Day. What? X-Men. Why is it X-Men Day? Oh, is Dark Phoenix. Happy X-Men Day. Since the moment I first put on the suit, it's been the greatest gig of my life. Even practiced Deadpool in 2009. That's Ryan Reynolds. So he's happy about that. But why is it X-Men Day? X-Men Day. Why? Oh, because this is the 10th of May. No, it's not. It's the 13th of May. Why is it X-Men Day? Role of a lifetime, X-Men Day. It all leads to this moment. Celebrate X-Men Day and grab tickets now to see Dark Phoenix in theaters June 7th. I love that. X-Men was probably my favorite comic books when I was a kid. But I don't know why. Does anyone know why it's X-Men Day? Even though Deadpool just isn't an X-Men, and the version he plays isn't even the real Deadpool. Yeah, no, it's not. But why is it X-Men? Oh, is this the first day you can buy pre-order tickets? Is that it? It all leads to this moment. Celebrate X-Men Day and grab tickets now to see Dark Phoenix in theaters June 7th. Okay. In honor of X-Men Day, here's a throwback to one of the greatest theme songs ever from the X-Men animated series. I'm not going to play it because I will get a copyright thing on that, but it doesn't matter. I'm not monetized anyway. I shouldn't care about that. Let's watch it. Oh my God, that's loud. Holy shit. Is that loud to y'all? Oh, this is I put volume up high there. Now it's loud to you too. So this is the X-Men animated cartoon series and their theme song. Campbell, Jubilee, Jean Grey, I know Jean Grey, Professor X, Beast. Okay. All right. So Can anyone explain to me? Not loud enough? Oh, I'm here. I'm getting up almost to the red levels here. All right. Hey, can anyone in the chat explain to me why it's X-Men Day? I don't know what that means. Oh, no, not 13 May? No. Okay, all right, we already heard it once. Anyone? Why is it X-Men Day? Maybe it'll explain it somewhere down here. Happy X-Men Day, fellow mutants. Happy X-Men Day. X-Men Day. In honor of X-Men Day, time to remind people about one of the best scenes ever done for a superhero film. A scene that set the standard that has arguably never been matched in terms of showcasing the spectacle of a character's power set. Okay. Anybody? Okay. What? Nobody's. I'm pretty sure it's just marketing ploy for a shitty movie. Well, I don't. But why? No, some of these. Oh, Nightcrawler. Okay, yeah, that is a good scene. I really dug that scene. To celebrate X-Men, can somebody finally give me a legitimate answer as to why I never saw Hugh in the suit? It was literally handed to him in a case on a plane. He was dying at the end of Logan. Just suit up for the scrap at the end and give yourself a chance. God damn it. Okay, nobody's explained why it's X-Men Day. Oh, September 1963 when X-Men came out. Oh, okay. No, they had the trailer for Dark Phoenix a while ago. So September 1963 is when X-Men came out. Was it? Okay, that's not it. Nobody knows why it's X-Men Day. Here, I got an idea. Let's do DuckDuckGo. X-Men Day. Okay. X-Men Day announced for Monday, May 13th. New content to debut. You know what? Whoever said this is a marketing gimmick, you win. You win $200. Just under a month, X-Men will take to the big screen for the last time, at least for a little while, as Disney decides what to do with their newly acquired superhero property. To really get fans excited for this new outing, it was announced this morning that fans will get to celebrate X-Men Day this Monday, May 13th, which will officially kick off advanced ticket sales for the new movie Dark Phoenix. This is a marketing gimmick. Go straight to hell. Do not collect $200, Disney. All right, enough about X-Men Day. People are happy, though. All right, Gunther Cunningham, who the hell is that? That is Go. Where both side. What? I grew up with Gunther Cunningham's defense in KC, and he represented what my idea of a defensive coach should be. He is one guy, even after his struggles, that team remained beloved by the Chiefs fans. Rest in peace, coach. Oh, Gunther Cunningham died. He was the defensive coach for the Chiefs. All right, and they got his famous yellow glasses there. Okay, I didn't know he passed away too. So rest in peace, Gunther Cunningham. Moving on, Dan Gilbert trending with Izzo and Tom Izzo. Uh-oh, where's Dan Gilbert going? Breaking, Michigan's John Beline. Yeah, we knew that. Dan Gilbert with the ultimate troll. Why are they... Michigan State booster Dan Gilbert hires Michigan's coach John Beline for his NBA team, thus weakening Michigan. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Dan Gilbert owns the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he's a big-time Michigan fan. Or, excuse me, he's a Michigan State fan. Excuse me. All right, enough of that. Billy Donovan's another coach. Where's he going? Michigan fans think they have a shot at Billy Donovan and Brand Stevens. Yeah, I don't know about that. Literally saw Billy Donovan trending and thought, didn't he leave us for Northwestern? Why do we want him? Turns out it's Eddie Munster from Florida. Okay. All right. A lot of basketball coach news. Oh, Tom Cotton, Republicans congressman. Why is he? Oh, gosh. Here we go. This is disgusting. My opponent, Tom Cotton, shouldn't use the sacrifices of our troops to cover up for a disastrous trade war. Arkansas families are hurting because of this, and all Cotton is offering is offensive BS like this. Oh, God. Come on. There will be some sacrifice on the part of Americans. I grant you that, but also that sacrifice is pretty minimal compared to the sacrifices that our soldiers make overseas that are fallen heroes or laid to rest. Okay. Yeah, he said that. I guess apparently people hate him. Well, he hate him because he's a Republican. I mean, let's face it. Sacrifice of Americans paying terror. Yeah, it's non sequitur also, Tom Cotton. I mean, I'll just tell you that, but whatever. He said it, whatever. Okay, people are hating on Tom Cotton for that one. Chris Beard. Who's that? Don't know. Texas Tech, Chris Beard. What? I don't know. What? Oh, Michigan. These are all people they're trying to get to. He's the coach at Texas Tech. These are all the people they're suggesting to coach at Michigan. Juwan Howard. Okay, yep, that's another one. Another Michigan. Lee Smith. That's Lee Smith. Lee Smith, the pitcher? No, Lee Smith. Oh, is going to the Buffalo Bills. Nobody cares. It's sports. I love sports, but I don't want to bore you with sports. Let's put it that way. Trade wars. Yes, there's the trade war thing is the biggest thing you're going to be hearing about, especially, well, people like David Frum are going to be on top of here. We have officially moved from trade wars are easy to win to no pain, no gain. Yeah, I'm wondering about the trade wars myself. I mean, is there a method to the president's madness? I don't know. Here it is. As Trump, of course, David Frum, I don't listen to anything David Frum says because David Frum was one of those people who said that the economy was gonna be crushed as soon as Trump came to office. Him and what's the knucklehead from the New York Times? Paul Krugman, Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman thought for sure that Trump was going to destroy the country. Well, you know what? The economy's moving along pretty good, but I don't know what impact this trade war with China is going to have. Are some prices going to go up? How is it going to affect us? I don't know that, we're still the world's largest economy by far. So I don't know what good it does for other countries to have trade wars with us, but I don't know if it does us any good either. I don't know. Here's David Frum's take. As Trump's trade war with China widens, remember that he is also fighting trade wars still with Canada, South Korea, etc. This chart from December 2018 is now a little out of date, but it gives an idea. Okay. Yeah, because we do import way more stuff from Canada, but do we have good trade deals with all these companies? I mean, I don't know. I mean, apparently the president doesn't think so. Right now, our country's doing pretty good economically. Is this going to hurt our economy? I don't know. I can't go by what these economists say because they were wrong. The ones who I see who are lambasting Trump are the same ones who lambasted him before he even took office. The same ones that are supporting Trump are the same ones that were supporting before office. And I don't know. It's clearly going to. Now listen to this. Stung by Trump's trade war, Wisconsin's milk farmers face extinction? Really? Wisconsin has a weird little thing going where I can't even remember. Like milk subsidies from places based on how far they are from Wisconsin. I can't remember how that goes. Maybe Green Badger Logic. Maybe you're from Wisconsin. Hey, Jaeger Pony. I didn't see you pop in. Hello, how you doing? We're here in May. Yeah. Hot dog. I'm a wiener. Yeah. So you're going to be hearing a lot about trade wars. It's not a subject that I'm well versed on. I clearly have some reading to do. Here's one. Who could have predicted that financial genius who lost $1 billion over 10 years had 6 bankruptcies won't understand the economics of tariffs and trade wars? the tariff costs fall entirely on the U.S. businesses and households. Yeah, that $1 billion over 10 years. See, now that's the other thing. The New York Times, we talked about that the other day. The $1 billion over 10 years. Heavily invested in real estate. The New York real estate market tanked over those 10 years. Most people and companies in real estate completely lost their ass, and Donald Trump somehow came back from it, wrote a book about it 2 years later. So, you know what? You got to have $1 billion to lose $1 billion. I've never had $1 billion, so I don't even know how that works. All right, I got to keep going. All right, enough. So trade wars, I don't know enough. Last couple, Geno Smith. He's a quarterback going to the Seahawks. Good for him. He was a pretty good quarterback in college. Hasn't really proved himself in the pros yet, but he might have a chance. Peace to Doris Day. We already know that she passed away. Jake Fisher, the Bengals' second-round draft pick of 2015, who converted from tackle to tight end, was released by the Buffalo Bills after minicamp. So he will no longer be playing for the Bills. Maybe someone will pick him up for free agency, although I don't know if he's any good. And last but not least, Felicity Huffman. Felicity Huffman, in the college cheating scandal, is set to plead guilty in her college cheating scandal. Let's see. Felicity Huffman is expected to plead guilty today to paying $15,000 to a fake charity that facilitated cheating for her daughter's SATs. The Desperate Housewives star could receive up to 20 years in prison. God, dog. You go to jail for 20. I suppose that's, what is it? It's fraud. Clearly, it's fraud. Wow, she could go to prison for 20 years for that? Should I say it? Do I dare say it? Rich white celebrity woman. I just whispered it. I don't know if you heard it, but I shouldn't even throw the white in there because there's plenty of... Oh my God. Let's see. Tariff war between U.S. and Canada will be over by Christmas. It's a flashback from the Trudeau government for NAFTA and the climate change bullshit. Okay. That could be. Yeah. A trade war with the United States can't last long for anybody else. It just, and I know he's gotten some concessions from some other countries, just being tough on that. So who knows? Anyway, but Felicity Huffman, Felicity plead guilty 20 years. Goodness gracious me. That's a lot of time for that. But you know what? It is fraud. Anyway, all right. So Picala, I did get your link here, and awesome. Thank you very much. I am going to read that article. I haven't seen this. This is one I have not seen yet. Oh no, this is the same girl from Connecticut, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, that's because I just saw it. She, of all places, the Heritage Foundation has been having this big symposium on transgender issues, and one of the breakouts or whatever sessions was on transgender athletes in women's sports. Do I think that it'll be the end of women's sports? Not necessarily, but it's going to have a huge effect unless they get it right. Now, if they find research that says a transgender person on hormone therapy for a year or 2 years or whatever, there's scientific proof that their performance is equal that of a natural born female, physiological female, then fine. But right now, there is no research that says that. There is obviously research that says athletic performance lessens for that individual who goes on hormone replacement therapy. Does it actually take away the other advantages that are not strictly, muscle development and, body fat, weight. I mean, they say that their performance lessens. It doesn't say that it lessens to a point where they would be equal to a natural born female. They haven't found any evidence of that. They haven't found any evidence that the fact that you still have the physiological traits that were gained during puberty when you had testosterone, for example, lung capacity, heart size, heart capacity, blood flow capacity. There's the tightness of muscle fibers, things like that. Even though some of the functions atrophy, some doesn't mean that that those other things are not also factors. And so, like the woman who set the world record, the 4 world records, although they did it. If you heard about the weightlifter who broke 4 world records in one meet, they did take those records away. We put that that was in the article earlier. So anyway, it's been one of those days. I didn't really get to any headlines, but we went through Twitter and found a lot of cool headlines. And it's good to just talk about things that are happening as they come up. And so the headlines I would have had from this weekend, we probably worked out better anyway. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Because I have to go. It's that time. I'm running a little late as it is. But you know that we are here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world who use GMT. And, I just want to thank you again before you leave today down below. If you haven't shared, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't hit the like button, make sure you do that on the way out. I really appreciate that. If you happen to come back for some reason to see another part of the show again, throw a comment in the chat too, or the comment section. I obviously these are live streams, so most of you are here already. But if you missed earlier and decide to watch some of it later, throw some comment in the comment section. I always like to interact with people that way. I do absolutely thank you for being here. I love having y'all come each day. Hope you had some fun today. Hope you learned something new. And, hope we'll see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.